And we are continuing with the D-Day battle. We have landed at designated beaches, the primary objective, taken Carentan and Bayo. We still need to secure Cherbourg, which is out here, and capture Saint-Lô, which is right there, I believe. Or no, no. Saint-Lô is... Where is Saint-Lô? We'll look for it in a minute. Oh, right there. There it is. Saint-Lô's over there. So maybe I shouldn't be pushing so hard here. I don't know. There's a lot of forces. We also know there's a bunch of forces back down in here. Capture bridges in 3 turns, which we did. Blow the railway bridge in 6 turns. We did not. I'm not sure. Maybe it was that one. I don't know. We didn't get to it in 6 turns. Block the Carentan Peninsula. Because here's Carentan. Not sure what they mean by that. Block it. Okay, I don't know. Take these bridges. I'm not sure. Sometimes with this game, I do think the game is great. Hello, Sarah. How you doing? Good evening to you. Sometimes I just don't always get the descriptions exactly what they mean. I can get the idea. Hold the Orne bridgehead. Orne or Orne, I don't know. Oh, I think that is over here. I think. But we don't hold that. Well, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what that is. And clear the sky, which we've done, which is get rid of the enemy here. So just giving everybody a heads up. If they either haven't watched or it's been a while since they've last watched what's going on. Right, well. I think a lot of the stuff has been done. Okay, they can move up. These guys. Okay, they can move up. Okay, that would be a good... Part of what I'm doing with this 17 pounder is, and I know there's some Panthers and other heavies over here. Some of them are over here. Has been using them to support the infantry from a tank attack, but I can move the infantry up 1 still. So we're going to come here and hit that pretty hard. Okay, didn't kill it, but now we're not going to pursue it. We're going to come up here so that they're still supporting that. Okay, yeah. I think all these have fired earlier. Up here. Okay, we can still move with some of these. Now that Panzer 4H, a little better. Oh, that was a misclick, damn. Okay, well, it worked out okay, I guess. How about these guys? Yep, they've moved. Our reconnaissance, let's move you over here so you can get a look around at what's going on. I think all of these ships have either fired or moved. Well, okay, we can see a hint of a naval vessel. I don't know whether that's a capital ship or a ship or a motor torpedo boat or what. There were no capital ships in the area, German capital ships, of course, in the area at the time. They had long ago since done the channel dash. I mean, most of these vessels are too deep drafted to get further inshore. Okay, we have these guys here, and Can't land. Oh, I betcha. Yeah. Okay. This airfield, as opposed to, or airstrip, as they're calling it, as opposed to a big airbase, can only hold so much at any one time. Okay, they're the ones that just landed. These guys, yeah, we have the point, so we will reinforce them with good equipment, or well-trained troops. Now we also have reinforcements in the form of more points, ground points that we can do. We've got over here an M4A3 76 Sherman, meaning it has a 76mm gun on it, and another one there. So we've got some pretty heavy guns, which will do pretty well against infantry, but very good against tanks would be easily a good gun for that. Where that, well, that's a 105, so that's specifically set up for taking out infantry. Now, I could be wrong because I'm going off of memory here. I'm not absolutely sure, but I remember hearing that they had sent over these guys to Britain before the D-Day invasion, but the divisions that actually went ashore on D-Day declined to add them to their order of battle because of, I think basically they were thinking they were going to be unnecessary and cause maybe more problems than they would help out, as in like ammo supply, the 76mm ammunition supplying alongside the 75mm ammunition, etc., etc. And so now they were very quickly started to run into enough heavier German armor that, yep, they got them sent over and used them at some point. I think before the full breakout, you know. And I don't know if we'll get into this with order of battle, maybe in the next few things. Areas, but this looks like the bocage type terrain, and inland from here there's a lot of it, and so this became something of a Gallipoli situation here, in that the British there was a lot of forces here. The British had super difficulty, well, I'm trying to think, how do I say this? By the time you get to June 1944 and beyond, Britain is becoming exhausted in its manpower and becoming more and more casualty adverse. And if I were to leave it just there, it might either sound like cowardism on the British part, or recklessness, or no, not recklessness, sorry, disregard for casualties on the Americans' part. Okay. And I don't mean either one of those. What I mean is, they have been fighting since 1940, the British actually fighting. The British don't, ground fighting. Sure, they've been, hunting U-boats since 39, but, and you have the whole, BEF going to Europe and the casualties and divisions being captured and or destroyed by the Germans there, and then all the way through the campaign, and of course fighting in Asia as well. That they would rather have the war, I don't know, take 6 months longer because by the time, you know, the High Command and British divisions, by the time that we're getting around to, you know, D-Day, I think all of the... Hello, Eric, my friend. Good to have you here. I think all of the, you know, military leaders were assured in their mind of an Allied victory. That was no longer a question in, you know, general Western mind who was going to win this war. So they really felt like, well, hey, if the war takes a little bit longer, we've just been bleeding so long in this war, can we do it with just a fewer casualties? And now, of course, that means for every day that that's happening, people are living under the Nazi regime. And of course, there's death camps going on. I mean, that's sort of at the one extreme. There's people on the sort of somewhat, well, in the American, maybe the least extreme, but under the British system, you have a, you know, tight set of rationing regulations and other regulations. So everybody's living under the pressures of this war. Do you push to end that war a day earlier and all the bad elements that are happening because the world is at war? Or do you take it slower and take less casualties but still get there? Not disregarding entirely a speed of you know, dealing with the problem, but that becomes a secondary element. And so, yeah, the British are getting exhausted. They're casualty adverse. They, you know, where Patton, he would rather take, say, 20 casualties today, taking a certain amount of ground / destroying a certain amount of, because it's not just with all these upper leaders. No, it's not just taking the physical ground, it's destroying the units. It's not so much looking at like a World War I, but gaining objectives, which could be, you know, and I'll get to, I know I've wandered off my original point, would rather take 20 casualties today and achieve the particular goal, you know, taking out the enemy unit, than take 3 days to achieve that same goal, taking 10 casualties each day for a total of 30 casualties. Same goal, whether it's a destruction of a force, capturing a railway center or whatever. He would rather have a slightly higher casualty rate, not, you know, careless casualty rate, but a slightly higher casualty rate to get it done today, than wait on it and more slowly grind at the casualties. And I think, you know, we definitely see with the Soviets except for stopping outside for approximately a month outside of Warsaw to allow the Germans to destroy the Warsaw Uprising, we see a rush towards pushing for victory by the Soviet Union particularly, but even at the start of the war, a complete disregard for casualties. So that is more of a they're always disregarding, but, you know, a rush to end the war, to get the war over now, and not sometime with fewer casualties. So we get the British not pushing as hard and maybe as recklessly, or as hard and aggressively, maybe I should say, to secure Cannes, and then be able to push out of it. So this stalls over here. The Bocage area down sort of to the south of here allows the Germans to you know, do sort of a city fighting type situation with their infantry, and they have a lot of really good close personal anti-tank weapons, the Panzerschreck and Panzerfaust particularly. They also have the I'm going to butcher the thing, but the Stahlgrat or whatever, which is a recoilless type round that you stick on the outside of a 37mm anti-tank gun that can project out pretty far. Plus you have things like the PaK-40 and the PaK-38 anti-tank guns that, especially, now they have range to reach out, but if you we'll get back in here, we can see it. If you mount an anti-tank gun out here in the open, like this is, and you shoot it, it have more, obviously have more range and depending on the scale of the thing. But shoot at a tank over here, it just sort of exposes its position because boom, smoke, dust, all sort of happens because of the anti-tank gun. And especially if we click on some terrain like that, and you've now exposed the position of it being there. And if you haven't, in your initial volley of taking out the enemy, if you haven't done it, you just now become targets, quite honestly. So if there's like on this open plains down here, there's an anti-tank gun that's sort of kind of somewhat hidden or rushes up and stops there, shoots at the enemy, or it's maybe somewhat entrenched and you don't see it at first. It shoots because it hasn't been spotted and kills a tank. But if there's 4 other tanks there, they all get to start shooting at it. And now if you've got 4 anti-tank guns lined up here and 4 tanks, boom, 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 they all die pretty quickly, and it's going to be hard to exactly spot them. And so it works. But if you move that same anti-tank gun into either like forests, or as this thing I guess is, in sort of hills, individually they can be much more effective against an advancing, because as the tanks, like it sort of almost looks like there's a road there, but sort of advancing through it, and then boom, the first tank blows up, and which side, where did it come from, gets really confused. So it's really hard to advance in there. So it really slowed up the Allies, and then they break out down here and swing around and create the Falaise pocket and whatnot. And it's only then that you really start to see the advance across Europe. And somewhere in there is when they start moving, my understanding is, start moving in the 76mm guns. Now, there's a lot of talk, but hopefully interesting. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to purchase. We have more US ground points. I want another tank. We have here, and yes, points are plentiful, but are meaningful still. Calliope, I don't know. That's 300 points. I don't know how good of anti-tank. Now the 105s were mostly, not entirely, but mostly sort of around in ones. They would be attached to a tank company's HQ. So you would have the well, I'm not seeing a standard 75mm gun here. Oh, interesting. Okay, so I don't have an option for a 75mm gun here. A standard sort of M4 Sherman. What do the British? Okay, they're not even given Sherman as option. I thought they had some, but nope, we're not an anti-tank. Okay, so I guess they're just looking at, now this M23 does not show up in World War II. Was this the Pershing? No, I think this, that's M26 if I'm not mistaken. So I'm not used to seeing this thing. So, okay, so our real option is what they're calling an M4 Calliope, which I don't know. I don't want to spend all those points on it. I think we'll then get one of these things here. I was hoping for an M4 standard 75mm version of things. Okay, well, we can put you... We'll put you here. Okay. I wanted to get another unit. We're pushing that way. Now, we're supposed to take Cherbourg. I see some fortifications, so which was part of the reason why I was moving that 105 forward. I think we'll go with some engineers. We got 276 down here. A priest. we're now getting more and more out of range of any shipboard artillery, so we're supposed to cut the Carentan Peninsula. I don't know exactly. Maybe these bridges, I don't know exactly what they mean. It's not clear to me. Maybe it would be to everybody else, but not to me. So let's look at some artillery here. No, did I just not scroll down? No, there was no scroll down. Didn't think so. Okay, now this is a Sherman Calliope that is maybe more set up for artillery. They were normally just artillery type weapons. I'd rather have a long tom right now than another priest for this campaign. Yeah, 155 at the same sort of points. And I think we're going to be near enough to the front. We'll just plunk that there. Hey, Little Beard, good to have you here as a subscriber. Great to see you back. We love our subscribers here. All right. Okay, so we still have 5 points left. Got some big artillery to push on these guys. Got a bunch of infantry down here. Some tanks, some more mobile artillery. I know we've gotten rid of all of the enemy air. I think we have enough bombers. Well, do we do 110, 140? Back 8 to 4. 9 to 6. Okay, so before I decide to purchase that, that would be 3 points. That would leave us with another 2 points. Well, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 infantry units right now down here of various types, airborne, whatnot. I've got 2 and 3. Okay, 2, those are engineers as well as those guys. So I probably don't want more engineers, quite honestly. We do have a little bit of bunkers, a little bit of city. Well, those are just ranges. They don't take ground. Engineers. We do 3. What sort of artillery can I get? Okay, I could get an M5 3-inch gun. Okay, I think there's going to be guys in these buildings over here. Let's deploy you right here. I think we can inch you forward. And that leaves 3 points for 1944 infantry, which we will deploy, I guess, back up there. No. Along this road. All right. Okay, so that. No, close. Far. Right. Let's quickly run through. It's probably going to mostly just be ships that really have had nothing to do much. Yeah, you're holding out. Yeah. Okay. 17-pounder. No, I don't want to move you right up next to the infantry. I think you'll stay right where you're at. Okay, I think good enough. We will end this turn. That was an ouchie. As we saw there, the 105s were not particularly good at anti-tank operations. They were low velocity round. I think we're going to fall back. We're going to still push towards can a bit, but I think we're going to fall back from the front there and keep pushing. A little bit of an ouch. But everyone, like I said, once you sort of get spotted with your artillery, it's sort of like, everybody shoot me now. How's our reconnaissance going to do with this infantry attack? Well enough. I mean, they didn't get slaughtered. Okay. Good. Good, good, good. Okay, they can move up and do their thing. So these guys are going to fall back to here. These guys are going to be there. Much better, like we talked about. Anti-tank capabilities. There we go. That's the kind of result we were looking towards. Maybe I should have put some more artillery out here. Oh man. I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Now, here. Do any of the big guns up here we can... Oh, it's on cooldown. Okay. Any of these ships reach there? No. With their artillery, but they can... Found this location. Again, ships that haven't moved will be more effective at shooting than those that have. That's just a little too far out, dude. Okay, well. Yes, I want to destroy this stug. Thank you. And here I want to destroy this noble waffer. There we go, both destroyed. Now we're going to pull you back out of the river, which is never a good position to be in. You're going to also pull out of the river and shoot at the flak 88, hopefully taking it out. Yep, very good, and stay out of the river. But I think I made good choices with artillery, though I'm not absolutely sure this is the best placement. Closer. Still don't need to suffer counter battery fire if not necessary. Let's pound on that. Good. And yeah, we'll get that well upgraded. Very good. These guys, I think we will also reinforce as well. Yeah, none of these guys can really reach out and touch. Well, you can come to there and maybe reach out and touch there when you get ready to push. There, now here, these guys can come up and around. Fortunately, there's no real targets for them. And we still have lots and lots of turns to go. Pretty sure it's been a while since I was playing, but I know there's a bunch of units down here. Yeah, we'll come over here. I'm hoping there won't be too much AA. Break this location. They have the fuel range. So, yeah, let's... I've reduced them by 1, which is useful. And up here, okay, we got... there are some AA guns over there, I know. Black 88 there, but... yes, I should have done this before attacking with the infantry. Well, taking out that bunker, reinforce those guys. The artillery's ready to sort of push and secure down here. We got a lot of offshore artillery sitting out here if they try to push up towards the beaches. Here, I'd love to get into... we've hit them heavy. Love to get into the town here. We're going to move up to here. And get these guys out of the river. We don't need them in the river. Pursue up there. Love the sort of tactical thinking with this game. Okay, you head back this way. We're going to go to the airstrip to get reinforcements for you. Oh, you've got to go back as closely as you can. Oh, here. Oh, we got to go down here. Okay, so wait a second. Let me click way out here. Make sure you can't undo. We've got to get you. There, you've got to land there. Okay, land. Okay, you have the range still. Good. You're in good shape, but again, lots of AA around. Taking out that one, so. And yes, I should have done it first thing. Made some bad choices. You need to land as well. Because these are now vulnerable to ground attack, and I should have moved that anti-tank gun here to better screen that, but maybe they'll survive, okay? There we go. Am I actually forgetting about? No, those are not our reconnaissance platform. Let's come down this way. I think we spotted him. We might not spot a unit entrenched in a town or a forest. Yeah, ships. Is it here we can take off? Yes. Take off. I think you can only take off one at a time. That's all right. Okay, I think we will go to the next turn. They're withdrawing their artillery. They're still 42s because they're going to pursue my reconnaissance. No, they're going to move and artillery the guys in the truck. Fine. Mortar, maybe I should say. They're pushing up the center. Well, if they do that, I got a lot of offshore artillery to introduce them to again. Yeah, that's what I was worried about. Damn. Damn, I'm losing my units. Okay, well. Live and learn. Don't make the mistakes that I've been making. There. If there's anything left at the end of this turn of those aircraft are taking off and flying away. It was a refueling stop, but they've got... Okay, well, take off. And take off. Okay, well, they got refueled. That wasn't so great. Wasn't so great. Okay, well here, easy choice, bombard the guys out in the open. And boom, they're gone. Okay. Oh. Okay, no, screw it. Screw it. I get so... Without an undo... I thought I was clicking on the air unit. Now, I know I'm going probably too fast and all, but... Okay, so I'm going back to this autosave. Load. That should be the start of the turn. Not that I want a different result. That was... I get upset without a... There, okay. Yeah, I know I should look down here and make sure that it's the Havoc. Because that's what I wanted to click on. I understand the designers sort of going, oh, we don't want people to, oh, I didn't like this result, let's do it again. I didn't like this result, let's do it again. I get that. I really do, but... I want to push there now. Yes, I do. Yeah, I know we're face ringed around, but we hold the town now there. Alright, well. I did before, these guys are all taken off. And away from the direction of the AA guns that may continue to harass them. But these guys will push in. There we go, that's good. These are my rangers. They're gonna range. And you come up here and let me know that they're here. Hello, we know you're here. We're gonna go with our big guns. Welcome to Battleship Artillery, which didn't do maybe as much as I was hoping, but let's move you over to here, you up to here. Let's fly you over here. Do a strafing run. Loosen down by one more. And there we go. These guys will come over here. I don't want them too close because I think there's more German infantry there. Oh, well, we can actually get you out of the river. We like that. Okay, that's effectively how you do it. Hello, Farlock. Good to have you here. This time, let me know how I want. Let me play how I want. Yes. Well, there is. Let me play how I want. Plus, what I'm also talking about is a misclick that I want to do. I would love a limited undo system like in Panzer Corps 2 for those times that I click and don't realize I was moving a unit. Absolutely. Balthus. Yeah, You know, now there's Panzer Corps 2 is, I think, 3 undos per turn. You know, you can either give an unlimited or a limited, and some games will go, well, if you move and then because I'm pretty sure there's a unit, in the town here, if you uncover a unit, it freezes it, you can't undo it. Some levels of undo, I'm willing to accept as opposed to absolute undo, but either way, I think it should be an option. And hello, Hannibal, good to have you here. If you don't bust Fog of War, yeah, undo, but yeah, that kind of thing. I get the idea of, hey, I thought I was going to be victorious in this action and I wasn't, so I just undo it. But to a point that if you want to play that way, either you want to live with the die roll, as it were, or you don't. And if you're not willing, it sort of gets down to the way you want to play it. But even now, you can, of course, have some of those as options, maybe, for achievements, whether you turn on or off some undo levels kind of thing to do. But since I noticed Harlock 3 is first time here, I want to promote up that by following the channel and just hanging out watching live streams, you earn free games and DLCs from Slitherine and Matrix. And how it works is you earn sliths. Sometimes you'll see people checking their totals here, and then you can use on the channel. You can redeem the slith coins for DLCs and games. You can scroll down from the stream page here and see some links on how all that works in detail. I just want to promote that up as a reason to have everyone here watch things, and no, you don't have to have the sound on, and no, you don't have to have the screen on the top level screen that you're watching. So meaning if you're just playing a game and you don't want to listen to mine or one of the other great streamers here on Slitherine TV, you don't have to listen to us, but we would love to have you around. So just want to promote that, because I know people like Hannibal has been here a lot, and I'm sure has earned lots and lots of sliths over the years. But I want everyone to know that is a good option for you guys if you want to do so. Okay, well, we have these little nice German soldiers over here in the trees, just sort of hanging out. Okay, they withdrew. Yeah. We'll move up. I really would prefer to move my infantry first. Move through the trees. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to move these infantry up to here. These guys, I think, to here. Oh, we found another box, pillbox. Okay, good. Nice guys, nice. They're too far out. They're not. Move you up. Scum saving would undo outcomes you did not like, but undo buttons where the move did not give you more than you already knew. I like you say, even in multiplayer games, yes, and especially something, and I would agree much more in multiplayer games, or if you're doing challenges or some tournaments and things like that, it really does matter. I'm not trying to discard that at all, but this is, Slitherine's smart. They ask us what games we like, and of course they want us to present games that we like. But I will criticize. And I really love Order of Battle, and this is the last DLC that I know that they're going to do. And again, not so much to sell you on this, but if you're not sure on this game, the base game is free. You can download it on Steam. Now, if you're getting a console, you have to buy one of the, I think it's the German thing first. But if you're on PC and Steam, you can download the base game for free, and the first mission, which this is the first mission of this DLC, is free. So you guys, if you just want to check out the game, play around with it for a few hours, you're not sure if it's for you, you can get it for free and take a look at it. But you know, and so I really do love this, but I will criticize Slitherine or Matrix games, you know, elements that I don't like, and some of it you just can come down to like personal taste, that type of thing. But definitely there are elements that I like more than others, or whatever, with some of these games. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm coming here, leaving him here, and I was sort of hoping, okay, he would get, and he'll get that. But I think I'll first push with the 105 Sherman. Now, if they had retreated, I would still be able to attack there. But we're going to attack here now. They withdrew all the way over to there. Now, anything I want to... No, so we'll move into there. And we're going to move up here and just see if we can eliminate these guys. And it may be a minor thing, but it's every time I play this game, something, at least in my mind, that is clearly a misclick comes about as being a that upsets me every time. Now, if I played a little more carefully, now we just moved him there to sort of give support, and he fell back to there. Okay, maybe sort of hoping. And here's my infantry. I guess right to there. Right to there. We are bringing up some engineers, so we'll be taking on some of these fortifications once we get through. Now he needs to come back into American lines, because he's a reconnaissance vehicle, does not capture territory in this game, for a quickie boost to reinforce it. Okay, so Puma's hanging out over there. Let's see what's hanging out here. Okay, now we have a nice Pack 40 over here. Oh, we got an AA gun, which will interfere with this, but we're a very high flying, and they hurt us a little bit. Okay, head in the other direction. There is an 88 down there. There's more there. I'm just afraid of Pack. Oh, it's a Pack 43. I thought it was a Pack 40. 88 millimeter. Okay, no, we're gonna drop bombs on it. We can take it out with the infantry once we get there. I do know there is a big infantry or big artillery piece of. Oh, Ulricus, how you doing? Okay, so these guys are gonna sort of play cautious and move up to the tree line there. Okay, so we're seeing a Panzer IV over there. Now, I intentionally, because of command points, did not get any mobility for these guys other than, you know, picking up and moving the gun, so they're not going to move fast. Well, and I should have used these guys first up here, but maybe better late than never. The 88 shoot at them, but then hopefully get fly away. So they're reduced down a bit. Yeah, just not going to be near enough. Good evening to you, Gene Leggy. Hope that's pronounced reasonably right. More bombs? Yes, always more bombs. Okay, you guys are coming over here where I see that there is big off fortress gun here and something here. We'll see how close we decide to get to it. Sort of gonna let these guys move up a little bit more closer, and then, you know, bounce on them with all hell of naval gunfire. Once they get close enough. Ian's okay. That's pretty good. Now here, I'm just gonna let these guys hang out. We have a lot of good heavy Churchills over here. Again, we'll see what's pushing up, and we may then push into its rear. I have more artillery out here. I like artillery. I don't know, maybe I'm in my old age becoming more and more like Napoleon. And I don't know whether it was availability of it or he just became more and more reliant upon it. But definitely you see a shift from, shall we say, the French Revolutionary Army. Now realize Napoleon is famous, and I don't know that he was specifically an artillery officer. I don't know that, because he did, in the early days, into the French royal system, but he used his artillery, I believe, in suppressing a revolt in Paris against the revolutionaries. I believe he there, and then he commands and uses artillery in the Battle of Toulon, where the town of Toulon was overwhelmingly royalists. And we can go into lots of reasons, French Revolution, that whole thing, there's a lot of detail in there, but suffice it to say the town of Toulon was overwhelmingly royalist. The Navy sitting, or the seamen, the sailors sitting on all the ships in the harbor, because it was also the main, at the time, the main naval depot on the Mediterranean coast. There was Brest, which was, this is Cherbourg up here, but way over here and more west and a little bit south is on the Brittany Peninsula is Brest, and that was the main Atlantic coast during that time period, French naval port. But the main one on the Mediterranean was Toulon. Most of the sailors were overwhelmingly revolutionaries. I don't know if the town is upset at the sailors, if that plays into their royalist sympathies, but you probably aren't interested. Sorry if I'm going way off on tangents of history here, but and the British are sailing back and forth off the coast there, and the French royalists invite, hey, want to come in and have a port? Please come in and have a port. And so the British and then the French show up, or not the French, the Spanish show up, which are still Bourbonists, so they're pseudo-allied with the British at the time, show up and take over Toulon to get rid of all of the revolutionary sailors. They unarmed, I think it was 3 or had the sailors, whatever, unarmed 3 man of war, like third-rate big French battleships, and cram all the sailors they can on them, and give them special passes, to whoever's going to captain the ship, to let them sail out and around Spain and to somewhere on the west coast of France, wherever you want to show up at, just to get the sailors out of there. So that, they were giving the revolutionaries 3 rather decent ships, but without the guns, so that they wouldn't, immediately become a threat They could get guns once they get to some port, but they wouldn't immediately become a threat, just to get the sailors out there. And then for quite some time, the royalists and the royalists from the region start showing up at Toulon, volunteering to fight. The British pour in troops, the Spanish pour in troops, and for quite some time they're holding out, being supplied via the sea at Toulon. Well, the French revolutionaries are just pathetic at trying to retake it. Discoordinated attacks, even though the Spanish weren't terribly enthusiastic about fighting hard for any of their positions that they held. But so long as the fighting was easy, meaning they were in fortified positions and easily handling the, ill-coordinated attacks, they were happy to, fight them. But Napoleon comes down and is sort of not initially in charge of the overall campaign of the thing, but in charge of some artillery units, uses the artillery very aggressively, very, in your face kind of way. And I think the way, was it Jackson does at the Battle of Mexico City during the, Mexican-American War, where they go down in 1850s or whatever, 1848, whatever. No, you're rambling. Okay, well, very good, Hannibal. And did I not say hi? I don't know if I did, Tony First Gen. So, and because there's causeways, I know we're in Mexico City now, causeways going into Mexico City that I think it was Jackson, who becomes Stonewall Jackson. That gets a nickname in the beginning of the American Civil War. I think it was him that was commanding an artillery battery, again, sort of using, grape shot and canister shot in your face to Mexican troops kind of thing, very aggressively, in very open conditions, not back supportive conditions, assault conditions. Napoleon is doing that and takes down, piece by piece, takes out the outer fortresses and whatnot around Toulon, and eventually the Spanish and English realize that they're not going to keep holding this, so they pick up and leave. Well, Napoleon then after that gets command of the French Revolution Army that's going into Italy, and it is a rather ragtag army, literally, in the sense of a lot of the men are wearing near rags, and uniformity of uniforms is almost unheard of. And it's a very aggressive, very flying column kind of movement. That's how he's able to defeat the best equipped army on the planet at the time, the Austrian army. I would say the best equipped. Not necessarily the best because they get defeated, but they're highly trained. So the individual soldier has... The British soldier might have higher training, but the British army is fractionally smaller than the Austrian army. But the Austrian army is definitely the best equipped the army. The only one with repeating... no, not Toulouse, Toulon. Toulouse is inland, between, inland along the Spanish border. No, Toulon is the coastal city at, or Toulouse, I should say, you're saying. Toulon is the coastal city down in the Mediterranean, naval port. So he's using a lot of flying columns, a lot of aggressive infantry movement, going into and taking over Italy, fighting the Austrians and all that stuff. Now, by the time you get to Austerlitz and whatnot, fighting the Austrians much later, he's using grand batteries of artillery to blast through things. Well, the more I played some of these games, the more and more, when I say these games, I mean things like Order of Battle and Panzer Corps 2 and 1 and whatnot, the more and more I'm relying on my artillery. Yeah, I know the city. Marseille. Yeah, exactly, Hannibal Bonaparte. But just wanted to not just correct you, but correct everybody so they understand the difference. Toulouse was the last battle, the taking of that city was the last battle of the sort of peninsula campaign under Wellington, at the end of that collapse of Napoleon's first empire, if you will, as opposed to his 100 days that he comes back later. But that's the end, last real battle, not saying the last skirmish or whatever, but the last real battle of that campaign there. But yeah, so that is another very interesting sort of battle situation there. Right. Okay. Well, so yeah, I've become more and more reliant upon artillery. Okay, well, we're gonna fly up. Oh, we can fly here and strafe these as we go by. So yeah, I know I get sidetracked, but I hope entertaining. Because that's like I've said, I try to be not necessarily the best player of these games or whatever, but an entertaining presenter of games and history and why we all love these games, I think. Okay, so yeah, well, we've done the reinforcements that we can or should right now down here. Honorable wall for back there. Right, we'll get those guys up and see if they can take out some of the pack guns and use the armor otherwise. All right, okay. They're really retreating out for some... Yeah, I figured they'd be shooting at me. Oh goody, they're coming. They're coming for me. Yeah, I bumped into that. That bunker that was well hidden, well placed. Ah, some panzers coming out of Cherbourg to mess with me. See, I don't understand the AI, what it's doing. I understand, like, hey, you have a 2-strength unit, you don't have the points to reinforce it. Sure, yeah, use it as a mortar, you know, in direct fire. That makes sense. It does. But I don't know why you put a single unit into the front lines where if you sort of kept it back as a defensive... But AIs, you know, they're only as only as good as their program. True, but well, we're gonna fall back, I think, a little bit more into. Okay, well, I knew these tanks were over there, generally speaking. Reconnaissed them earlier. And now they're coming out to play, so we're gonna fall back into the woods. Anything that survives. Move up my tanks. They're going to move into the town in my retreating out of it. Oh, well, the tank's there. Okay, and they're going to attack one of the units, probably that weakest one there, and get hit by my anti-tank guns and take them out. Hello, Beam Slam. Seems quite popular. Lots of cruisers here. Yes, yes, we got lots of cruisers, battleships, and others out here. Right. Okay. Well, let's try to be a little smart about this. First, I want to see about... Okay, well, let's, again, as the game was saying, let's be a little bit smart about this. Do an airstrike. Okay, yeah, almost did that badly. Okay, you come here. I was hoping to fully take it out this turn. Now here... We'll figure this out. See, what I'm hoping here is blammo. Technical term, blammo. Bippity blammo. Okay. And one factor retreated out. Frustrating, but okay. Now over here they've moved up again. To there. They fired, they haven't. Well, I'm not moving out of support from my anti-tank guns there. These guys are going to move to here. These guys are going to fall back to the airport. These guys are going to come to here. This is going to shoot at the town. Good shape, good fuel. You're gonna fly over it, drop some explosive eggs. Fly away. You guys are gonna fly over here to then land. And we're gonna get over here too. Well, these guys we're gonna, pay the money, get them reinforced. Well, these guys are just going to take off so that we can land these guys here. Oh, I will join Omaha soon when I play all the Allied DLCs. Currently, I kicked the Germans out of Italy. Well, very cool. Yes, this is the last in the trilogy. Great series, playing from the Allied perspective. That, you know, I really do. I love both of these games, and I say both in, you know, Panzer Corps 1 and 2 and Order of Battle. Both of them have things in them that I like best, you know, elements that like better than others. But if, you know, and there is Panzer Corps 2, the Pacific campaign is coming. Don't know the release schedule, but it's coming. But until that comes, and then it will so far only be the Pacific campaign. But for now, if you want to play this space of battles, you know, Hex, this type of scale and whatnot, you got to play Order of Battle. And that's one thing that's always kept me coming to Order of Battle, is I get other options than just playing as the German perspective. Are you playing an alternative history where Cannes is retaken by the Germans and the Allies are pushed onto the sea? I hope not. I hope not. Have hours in gameplay. Well, cool. Very good. Very good. Okay, so we've pounded them. We can attack with that. Okay, so okay, well, we are going to occupy here with the Cromwell, which may not be the best. So could they have moved there? They might have been able to, but these guys are going to move to here. These guys are going to move up to here. And hopefully just eliminate the unit. Boom.